Hello, my name is Craig Barr, and this is part 2 of an overview of the new features and enhancements available in the Subscription Advantage Pack for Mudbox 2011. So here you can see we have a high-resolution mesh that is about 3.5 million polygons, but it exists in only one level of subdivision. So this mesh could be from another package, and we want to create or rebuild the lower levels of subdivision. You can see from the wireframe here it's quite a dense mesh. So I can take this object here, I'm just going to select it, and now underneath the Mesh menu, we can actually select Rebuild Subdivision Levels option here. This feature specifically works with Catmull-Clark subdivided meshes, and you can see that Mudbox is calculating the lower levels of subdivision that it can rebuild from the high-res mesh. A message bubble will pop up informing how many levels of subdivision it is able to rebuild. So in this case you can see we have 4. So we can now treat this model as any other and begin to sculpt on the lower levels, and those details will propagate up to the top original subdivision level. So you can see here that I can step down through the lower levels of subdivision that we've just rebuilt or recreated from the high-res mesh, all the way down to a new base mesh of 14,000 polygons. The Subscription Advantage Pack from Mudbox 2011 also brings a more powerful workflow with external applications. A common problem when working with a mesh in Mudbox is the desire to change the base topology of the model. So here I have some uneven edge loops that I'd like to fill in with some more detail. So I can quickly grab the model and then send it over to Maya. In Maya, I can alter the base of the topology, in this case by adding some new edges, and then refresh or update the mesh back in Mudbox. Exporting the mesh back to Mudbox prompts a selection window asking if I want to start a new scene, update the existing object, or import this object as a separate object within the scene. After updating the current object, I can see the changes to the topology accepted right up to the top level of subdivision. And if we start to step down in the levels of subdivision on the mesh, we can see that these changes are at the base level. So here's our base with the updated topology brought back over from Maya. Also new to the Subscription Advantage Pack is the ability to transfer details between objects. So here I have a high-resolution armor plate, and I want to transfer the details to a simple base mesh of about 290 polygons. Under the Mesh menu, we now have a Transfer Details option. In here we need to define the target mesh, the source mesh, and our source distance between the two meshes. After the transfer is complete, I'm just going to hide the original mesh here. And we can see that it not only has the top level of detail from the original model, but that it now has all of the original sculpt layers as well. So any of these details, any of these sculpt layers from the original mesh will transfer over to this target mesh here, this base plate of armor. A handy feature in the Mudbox sculpting workflow is the ability to freeze details to prevent any further changes. So here I have this chest plate detail on a separate layer, and I don't want to affect this area with any further sculpting. The Subscription Advantage Pack from Mudbox 2011 now allows artists to freeze details based off of specific layers. So these specific details are now defined as frozen, and that'll prevent me from accidentally altering the details as I continue to sculpt the rest of the model.